Congratulations! You've made it to May! The school year is almost over, but you have one more hurdle to overcome. Testing. And not just testing with accountability. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So this video is just a tad bit different than the other ones because today we'll be going over some testing procedures that I like to use in my class, or as I like to say, preventing testing irregularities to keep them very low in my class. So in today's presentation, we'll be going over building student accountability while taking tests. I feel like this is a real hot topic now, especially since it's May and it's testing season. That's the time of the year. My kids are really familiar with the following steps that I'm going to present. Anytime we have an assessment, they just start going into these steps. They just start going into these modes. And if we ever skip a step, like say for instance, the other day, we had a super short assessment. Really, I just gave the assessment just as like a quick checkpoint to make sure that they were doing what they needed to be doing, and I did not require them to turn their desk around because it was literally just like 10 questions. It was so short, and I had other built-in features to prevent cheating or testing irregularities. And so the kids asked me if we were going to turn the desk around. And so I just think that that's so interesting that when you present something, if you're consistent as a teacher, then the students, they expect that consistency as well. So the first thing that I would say is that first and foremost, do not release the test. Do not release the test. Wait until everyone is 100% ready. Save this for the very last step. And do everything else that I'm going to say first before you release the test. So just wait. Make sure you learn whatever your learning management system is very well before you put the test on there, because the students are very smart. They know how to use this stuff. So if you don't know how to use Google Forms, they know how to use Google Forms. And they know that they can, submit things twice, or that they can, do things multiple times, or et cetera, et cetera. And you need to be one step ahead of them. So if that means that you need to Google it and watch things on YouTube, get ahead of them, okay? So make sure that you are blocking the test and that you are not releasing it to the students, all right? So it's very controlled. It's a very controlled atmosphere. All right, next. I like to have the students turn their desk around so that their computer screens, their monitors are visible to me if I were sitting at my desk. So if I had to sit at my desk to take attendance, or if I had to sit at my desk for some quick reason, I can see all of their computer screens. That way you can monitor their activity during the test. And then also it just builds accountability on their part, that they know that at any point, whether you're walking around or you're sitting down at your desk, that you can see what they're doing. Anyone in the class. I subbed in a class and I had to administer a test, and I did that in their class. I was like, all right, this is what we do in my other class. Everybody desk around. Now I prepped them beforehand. I didn't just say, all right, now everybody turn your desk around. I said to them, these are the procedures that I do in my class. I do A, I do B, I do C. This is what you'll be doing today. So students like a little bit of warning before they engage in an activity. And so I would recommend that you don't just spring this on them, that you tell them, all right, so today we will be doing X, Y, and Z. in order to increase accountability on all parts. And so let's do it. Next, I would have the students close all computer tabs, windows, screens, everything. And then also be aware that nowadays you can have multiple, I don't know how to explain it, but like you can have multiple screens on a computer. So like on my Mac right now, I have like 3 screens open. And my students showed me that you can quickly jump from screen to screen to screen, just with like a control arrow or something like that. So be aware of that like there might be screens you can't see. So just tell the students, like, close all of your tabs, your windows, and your screens. So if they are caught, there is that accountability that you did say to close everything. And they can't say, well, you never said that, not to close this. Of course, you want them to keep open whatever tabs that you want them to keep open. So just make sure that you specify which tabs. I know in Spanish class, we have Spanish Type It for the accents. And so that's a tab that oftentimes gets left open. Or Schoology for the learning management system, which is where oftentimes I drop the link for the test. Make sure you have work for your early finishers. So I have links below in the description box below for early finishers. Sometimes they can cause disruptions. You can have early finishers that are your students who are super duper industrious and have just finished because they just know all the material. And then you have students who just didn't really care about the material to begin with and just wanted to get it over with. And now we're gonna go bug Tommy or Johnny or Sue or Megan and while they're taking their test. So make sure you have something for everyone to do. Everyone is occupied during this testing period. Everyone is occupied. So have something explicitly ready for them to do. All right, so I have some suggestions below in the links below in the description box. Be sure to express your expectations and standards before every single test. It may seem like, oh my gosh, I have to do this before every single test. Yes, you have to do this before every single test. Remember, your students have like 8 classes or 7 classes, however many classes they have. And they have different expectations in every single class. You remind them. That's kind of you to do, actually, is to remind them of what is expected in your class. Don't just expect that they remember. Don't just say it's the end of the year, they should know. They have so much on their mind, and we don't know what they're bringing into the classroom emotionally, socio-emotional, bringing into the class that is interrupting their, interrupting them knowing what they should be doing in class. So just express it in every test. And then also you can say, if you do catch someone doing something, you can say, well, I said it right before the test. Always use a timer. When you turn on the test, use a timer, put it on the board. I do this for several reasons. One, I realize my students can't read a clock. They can't. A lot of my students cannot read a clock. I have great students, wonderful students, love my students. Some of my students are probably going to watch this video, but I have students who cannot read a clock. And if I tell them the test is going to be for 20 minutes, they're going to be lost by the analog clock in the room. So to be kind, I put up a timer in the classroom for them. All right, fine. So we do that. And then I put on the test. And you can just Google an online timer. Actually, if you Google the time, like if you Google 30-minute timer, Google itself will give you a timer. Be sure to monitor the students. Monitor digitally how much work has been turned in. Remember that students have accommodations, IEPs, and extended testing time. So just remember that there are students who will need those accommodations, and just in your mind, know who will need an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 30 minutes, depending on how long your test is. And be sure to give just a courtesy 5-minute warning, because sometimes students get so into the test that they just lose track of time. And it's nice just to kind of give them that 5-minute warning. And that is about it. All of this seems a bit lengthy, I know, but I do this literally in every single class. Every single test I do this. My students can verify this. And just be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube for more tips. I have some more testing tips that I'm going to come out with due to the fact that it's testing season. And I have resources for end of year resources, for after testing season, what to do in the classroom, like fun things in the class. And I'm about to drop some resources for fun things to do in the classroom. My website is theculturalclassroom.blog. If you have any questions, email me, theculturalclassroomtpt@gmail.com. And I hope that you had a wonderful tip today, or tips. I hope you got some wonderful tips today. All right. Muchas gracias. Ciao. Bye.